Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are in a better condition. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Fauzan and I'm come from Economic Faculty, Economic Education Department. Okay, in this morning, I'm going to explain about investment. In today's modern world, investment is sought and carried out for its business field because in investing not only money can be invested but can be gold, property, apartment and so on to be used as capital to invest. Definition of investment. Investment is a term with several meanings related to finance and economics. The term related to the accumulation of an asset in the hope of future profits. Sometimes investment is also called as capital investment. Based on economic theory, investment means the purchase and also means production of capital or capital goods that are not consumed but are used for future production goods. Definition of investment according to experts. The first expert is Sadono Sukino. He said that investment can be interpreted as expenditure of investors or companies to buy capital goods and production equipment to increase the ability to produce goods and services available in the economy. The second is Taswan and Soliha. He said that investment can be done by individual or business entities, including banking institutions that have excess funds. Investment can be made both in the money market and the capital market or place it as credit to people in need. The third is Sunaria. Investment is an investment for one or more assets that are owned and usually for a long time in the hope of getting profits in the future. That's all the expert of the investment. So next let's move to the investment function. The first function is investment function is an expenditure to buy capital goods and production equipment that aims to replace and add a capital goods in an economy that will be used to produce goods and services in the future. The second investment function is a curve that shows a relationship between the level of investment and the level of national income. Investment objectives: to get a fixed income in each period, such as interest, royalties, dividends, or rent on order. To establish a special fund, for example, funds for an expansionary interest, a social interest. To control another company through ownership of a portion of the equity of the company. To guarantee the availability of a raw material and to get a market for the product produced. To reduce competition among similar companies. And the last is to maintain a relationship between companies. To maintain relationships between companies. Investment type. The first type of investment is real asset. The second is financial asset. The third is autonomous investment. The fourth is induced investment. The fifth is foreign capital investment. The sixth, domestic investment. The seventh is portfolio investment. And the eighth is direct investment. Explanation of investment type. The following is an explanation of the types of investment. The first is types of investment based on assets. Types of investment based on assets are investment classification in terms of capital or wealth aspects. Investment based on asset is divided into two types as follows. Real asset is tangible investment such as building, vehicles and others. Financial asset is a document indirect claims for the holder of a real activity of the party that issued the security. The second is type of investment based on influence. The type of investment according to its influence is investment based on a number of factors that influence or have no effect on an investment activity. Type of investment based on the influence can be divided into two types as follows. Autonomous investment is an investment that is not influenced by the level of income, which is speculative in nature. Example is such as the purchase of securities. induced investment is an investment that is affected by an increase in demand for goods and services and in the level of income. An example of this investment is a stationary income, which is an income earned aside from work, such as interest and so on. The third type of investment based on the source of financing. This type of investment based on the source of financing is an investment based on the origin of the investment obtained. The fourth is type of investments based on the shape. Type of investment based on its form is an investment based on a way to invest. This type of investment can be divided into two types: portfolio investment and direct investment. And the next is investment benefit. The first could be a long-term earning potential. The second can be surpass inflation. The third can be provide a fixed income. The fourth can be adjusted to changing need. The fifth can be invested according to your financial situation. The sixth is a lot of investment benefits for business people and companies so that the business they run is developing and advancing. Let's move to another factors affecting the investment rate. The investment rate that is planted in a country or region influenced by several factors, namely effects of exchange rate. Theoretically, the impact of change in the exchange rate or rate with investment in Argentina. The second is effect of interest rates. The interest rate has a significant effect on the urge to invest. To produce activities, the processing of capital goods or production raw material requires other inputs to produce output or final goods. The third is influence of inflation rate. The inflation rate has a negative effect on the level of investment. This is because a high inflation rate will increase the risk of investment projects, and in the long run, high inflation can reduce the average period of capital lending and cause distortion of information about relative prices. Next is influence of infrastructure. Like many countries in the world, the government invited infrastructure to participate in investing in infrastructure sectors such as toll roads, electricity sources, water resources, ports, and others. Let's next to the forms of investment. First is land investment is expected with increasing population and land use. Land prices will increase in the future. The second is educational investment with increasing knowledge and expertise. It is expected that job search and more in income. Stock investment is expected to benefit the company from work or research. Next is types of investment. The first is property. For property, for example, we can see that the price of property from year to year continues to rise. But for investment, this field is not easy because it requires considerable capital, and of course, we must have a lot of knowledge about property. We must be able to see where its strategic plays and how to the possibilities in the future, and also how we have to maintain the property until the time we will resell to get the results. The second is gold bar. For gold, the sense of investment in this one field is quite safe, but the benefits can also not be that big because the change is gold. In gold prices is currently relatively small because the economy has begun to stabilize. The third is insurance. Although the result obtained later may not be so large and require a long time, however, as long as we hold an insurance policy in addition to our investment, we have a real guarantee for if something happens to us. For example, we are sick, accident, or so on. So this insurance is actually the main function for protection. Stocks. In this stock, investment funds can vary depending on us, and in this stock investment there are many things that must be considered. We can make a big profit or a big loss in a relatively short time. To invest in this field of shares, we must have the ability to do an analysis of shares, how to state of a company, whether it will suffer losses or the company can continue to run. All this is needed for investment in this stock. Next, for determinants of investment success. first is estimated state of the economy. Estimates of the state of the economy are reasons considered by investors. If from this estimate economy conditions show better condition, investors will certainly want to invest their capital. The second is technological development. The means of production are experiencing technological developments such as the old and the modern money printing machines. As a result, the printing press must be replaced with a new one. The more technological developments, the old means of production are lagging behind, so that investment also needs to be multiplied. The second is profits provided by entrepreneurs or companies. The profit can encourage more investment. If there is a little profit, investment tends to be small because the availability of funds can only be obtained from loans. Of course, the amount is limited. However, if the company has a lot of profit plus a loan, of course the investment will also be a lot. Next is national income. High national income is an indication that community income is also high. High people's income makes them tend to consume goods and services produced by the company, so that the company's profit also increase. Because profits are increasing, more and more companies are investing. Let's next to the investment risk. Risk is the possibility of an investment made by an investor failing to meet the rate of return that an investor expects. The first is business risk. The possibility of losses suffered by the company due to the profits obtained that are smaller than the expected profits. The second is financial risk. Risks arising from the way companies finance their activities, for example, the use of debt in financing company assets. The third is liquidity risk. There are uncertainties that arise when securities are on the secondary market. The fourth is exchange risk. This risk is related to fluctuation in the exchange rate of the domestic currency with the value of country's currency. The fifth is country risk. This risk is related to political stability and the economic environment in a country. The risk that must be faced in every investment decision requires an investor to be careful and conduct analysis and careful consideration. Sufficient knowledge and understanding will help investor in considering an alternative investment. Therefore, an investor or investment actor who will invest in stock securities should have an understanding of the capital market, how the process of investing in securities, and the characteristics of the stock itself.